Hello, I'm David Matthews, Deputy Director General of the ACT's Education Directorate. Thanks for joining me to learn more about hazardous materials and how they are safely managed in ACT public schools. In mid-May, the Directorate held 4 drop-in sessions so that any member of the public could come and ask questions about schools and hazardous materials. I was joined by Andrew Parkinson from the Directorate's Infrastructure and Capital Works branch and by Professor Mark Taylor. He's one of Australia's foremost lead experts who advises the Directorate about how best to manage lead paint. To give you some context about the ACT public school network, we manage 89 schools educating more than 50,000 students. It's a significant number of buildings, the oldest of which dates back nearly a century. Because lead and asbestos were widely used during the 20th century, 85% of our schools contain hazardous materials. Lead and asbestos are the most common hazardous materials in our schools. However, as long as these materials are in good condition, they do not pose a risk to staff, students and the community. For asbestos, that means ensuring that loose fibres can't be inhaled, and for lead, it's managing dust or paint chips. There are several people in our schools working every day to manage hazardous materials. Cleaners wipe down desks daily and clean carpets weekly to prevent the accumulation of lead dust. The business manager and business services officer monitor their buildings for any issues and ensure that contractors know about hazardous materials in the school. And a network officer from Infrastructure and Capital Works helps identify and take action on lead and asbestos. You have access to detailed information about hazardous materials in your public school. Any surveys, reports and management plans are compiled in a hazardous materials register, which is kept at the front office and is available to view by all members of the public. I'm going to talk about lead paint now, as it's been a matter of interest in our school communities. The amount of lead allowed in paint has changed over time. These days, any paint produced before 1997 is considered to have lead in it and is managed accordingly. As you can see from this graph, most ACT public schools have lead paint. There are 4 main ways to manage lead paint. If it's in good condition, the hazard is contained and it can be left in place. If it's starting to deteriorate, it needs to be stabilised or encapsulated by painting over it with non-lead paint. And if it can't be stabilised, we remove the surface the paint is on, like replacing a window where the frame has lead paint. Here's an example of painting over or encapsulating flaking lead paint. Each time we carry out hazardous materials works, we test the space for lead dust or asbestos fibres, and those spaces remain isolated until we get the all clear. Our lead dust thresholds are in line with the best regulatory standards in the world. The Education Directorate has a detailed strategy in place to manage hazardous materials. The ACT Government has committed significant funds to manage this issue. In short, we've set up the right systems, adopted the safest regulatory standards and continue to follow expert advice to ensure that ACT public schools are safe for students, staff and the community.